Hello everyone. Today I want to share a little bit about what's going on here at home. I am in one of my children's rooms and I've been tidying up a little bit, so that's why I'm in here. But we did our homeschooling today. We did started with math. We did several pages, and then we did nutrition, which is the subject we're learning about in our science unit, I guess. We're going over, actually I should go get those books, or maybe I could just like show you a picture of it here. We're going over Nutrition for Dummies book, and I already explained to my kids, that's just their way of being kind of funny. And what they really mean is, they're just gonna teach everything in a really simple way for everyone to understand, and that they make a bunch of books on different topics. So after we went through that, then I decided, okay, I'm gonna go over the book. We're just gonna read it together. I'm going to learn about nutrition, and I started off the whole topic with them. I got a whiteboard that I had it in my daughter's wall, bedroom wall, but I just got it down so it's easier for me to just teach them in the living room. So we sit down on the floor, and we sit down on the floor and with the whiteboard there, and I use my markers, and I started it off drawing a picture, because what really works for my kids and it gets their attention is when, and it's always been this way, even when we were just starting pre-K and kindergarten homeschooling, I draw a picture, and that automatically gets their attention. Okay, so started it off drawing a little picture of me, sad me as a little girl. Told them about my own unhealthy eating habits in high school, how I would go like the whole day not eating my lunch that the school provided for me for free. Instead, I would go to the vending machine and get a bag of cookies, and that would be what I would eat. And then I would go home and my mom would have a meal for me, but still I drew myself as a little girl sad because I didn't have the right information to feed myself healthy, right? To make good choices about nutrition. And so then I drew a picture of me right next to me, so before and now. Like, I'm super happy because I get to learn about eating healthy now. And then I drew them, and so that's how we started it. And we've been going over a lot of things, so I'll read, because it's not a book for kids, for elementary kids necessarily, like really young. So I'll read like a couple of paragraphs, whatever topic we can cover, and I'll read it, and then I'll pause and I'll say it in a way that they can better understand, or I'll draw pictures. So today I drew a picture of what we were learning about. What was it, Jeremiah? What did we learn about? The essential nutrients, and just kind of invented like what they would look like. One of them is vitamin C, the other one something else. And so whatever like I was reading that, I'm like, okay, this would be good, because it would be good for them to write down. I'm combining their nutrition, learning about science, learning about nutrition through this book, not just hearing, but I combined it with letting them practice their writing and practicing, sorry for the noise, practicing writing paragraphs, a paragraph. So we're starting there. So that's what we're working on. Copy work, reinforcing those writing, like all the things, like remembering to write a capital letter like 2 spaces, right? 2 spaces tall, and not all the letters the same height, and making sure the lower cases go like passing the bottom line and things like that. Making sure we're leaving spaces in between words, making sure that we know where the title is supposed to go centered, and how you're supposed to leave space on the first line, and on the second line you come back and you start here. All those little things that we take for granted, like even a period, it doesn't just float up. You have to make sure the period is on the bottom. All those little details. So today we wrote down 5 sentences, and I also was able to teach them about don't copy something exactly the way the book has it, because we can't, pretend like we came up with that. So we had to change one sentence. It was hard to change it, but to get it to say what it was trying to say, but we did it. So we were able to change a few words here and there. So that's what we did. And also, what else did we do? After nutrition, we still are going to do reading and Bible. But I took a break because it was lunchtime. And also, I went to... So we have a little betta fish. Jeremiah's had it for a few months now, and it didn't look like it was doing too well. So I started to read more about all the things and started to test the water. I got some water strips. Had to change like half of the tank to make sure it didn't have too much nitrate. What else? I should have gotten another filter. No, I'm gonna help you hammer. I'm gonna help you hammer later. Remember, no noise right now, okay? Okay. So yeah, and then I was trying to figure out how to help the pH be good. So online it recommended that I got some of these what are they? Indian almond leaves. So I'm gonna put one of those, and it's supposed to help with the pH and actually make the water a little blackish looking, but that's what they're used to and they're less stressed. So I just want to give this little guy a fighting chance. Hopefully he... Oh, and I had purchased a heater because apparently their water is supposed to be 78 degrees to 80 degrees, and it dropped here in California. The weather drops and the house gets cold, and we don't leave our heater any hotter than like 72, 73. So he was starting not to come up for food, and so I was reading that if the water is too cold, they stop moving around a lot, and that's totally him. And it's interesting because I added slightly warmer water, and he's been like way more like out in his tank, as opposed to all this week, maybe weeks, he's just been like in the rocks. I'm wondering if maybe he was trying to warm up or something, but I ordered that little heater. I'm gonna put it on right now. And I actually went to the Dollar Tree to I needed to buy like one of those extension cords, something small, because it needs to fit in one of those cubby things. So when I was there, I found like these these Valentine's Day things that I used to decorate like certain parts of my house outdoors, and then yeah, I did a couple other things. But I was thinking, I wanted to make a video also about if I was really trying to really doing my very, very best to like hardly spend anything in homeschool, or if I didn't have an option, I had to like spend virtually nothing on homeschooling because I was trying to do homeschooling, or it was a better option, a better alternative for my child. If I didn't live like in the best neighborhoods, the best schools, then homeschooling would be the best option. But if I was limited in the amount of money that I had and all of that. So I wanted to give some ideas about what you could do. So let me show you what I got. I'm actually going to hang your hook thing. You see that? That thing has hooks. So we're going to put that there if you want it to be there, okay?
Mm-hmm. So it goes in here.
Okay, Jeremiah, you can pay attention too. Because he loves to see what I get. Okay, so I found this. This is because I've had this idea of, it's always been my dream to go to all of the states, God willing. And so lately I've been really excited about figuring out which state is the closest to us and would be the easiest, just to, have we been to another state? I'll put this here if you don't want to come out. I don't think we've been out of state at all. I've always been in California. Only been to Mexico one time. So I'm really wanting to go to a state, and so I thought this is really cool. This is just like an activity where you put stickers on the map. So don't put them, okay? Don't put them on the map. Only when we go travel somewhere, we're going to put a sticker on the one that we. So I want to add that to a board. Don't break it. So we'll do this later. You'll help me, okay? I bought these black. What do you call them, Jeremiah? Like they're a little thicker than just cardboard. Foam, styrofoam. I don't know. But I wanna add that to our kind of like a morning circle thing, like a bulletin board that we'll pull out. I want to add that and just do research on whatever state we're planning on going. Mm-hmm. I got this to help clean the betta fish's tank because the walls are really dirty. I'll do it though, okay? Don't rip it. I thought, like, if you're on a budget, just go to the dollar store, I think, right? Not everyone can afford to, like, purchase on Amazon a bulk amount or whatever. So there's a lot of good supplies there if you just need a little bit of it. Yeah, it'll go a long way. So something that I also wanted to add to my bulletin board is this. And I guess we can use this too. I want to have the little calendar just so we know what day is it, and we can go over that. Notes. We'll take notes too. And then, so this is the thing that I ended up finding. Hopefully it fits in that section. And I was talking to them about how when I was their age and I was in my class, whenever I would have to write like letters, words, whatever, and I would get confused about what direction does a letter go, things like that. The teachers always had like one of those thin posters along the top of the wall with the ABCs, and so I would just pause, look at the letter, and write, right? So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe we can do like a board, because I have 2 of those blackboards. So one of them is going to be like a reference board. So I'm going to attach these letters, alphabet letters, and these numbers, because even the numbers sometimes it takes a lot of seeing them until your brain actually memorizes what direction they go. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I was a little disappointed that for example, the one that they give as an example, the G, like I'm not expecting my kids to write it in this way, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll write like the way I do want them to, like right next to it. Yeah, but mostly it's just as a reference, like you know, the G goes this way, the B especially, right? The B, the D, things like that. All right, so that's what I got. But other things that I would recommend if you want to just save money on like curriculum and things like that, you don't want to, I would definitely buy like clipboards there. I would buy pencils there, the colors, all the supplies are there. I would buy those books. Oh, and they have a lot of like, well, they have a lot of like those books with puzzles and word problems and coloring books. I would get all of that there, but I was gonna say they have reading books, but come to think about it, I would not buy those. I would try to save money and just go to a library. Try to go to a couple of them to see what programs they have, or some libraries even like have reading programs where they can win prizes and things like that. Reading time so that they can like learn around other children too, things like that. But mostly I would just read. I would just have my kids learn just by reading. Writing book reports, things like that.
What's book reports?
Well, for older kids, after they read a book, they write what the book was about. That's the older kids. What else? Every time I go to the library, I'm like, why am I buying books when I can just come here and read them and bring them back and go get some other things? That's how we've been doing it. Our science units are a lot more fun, going over different types of books, like chapter books are read alouds, but eventually they're going to be my daughters and my son's reading books when they're going to be doing it on their own. What else? Okay, here's the major, like if you can't afford to subscribe to some of these educational programs on a computer, or maybe you don't even have a computer, right? Then just go to the library. This is what I would do. I would make a schedule for my homeschooling, and I would say, okay, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, or however much time you have, maybe one day a week or two, I would say we're at this time, probably in the morning before there's a lot of kids and stuff. I would bring my kids, and usually there's more than 2 computers available for kids with different programs, and I would just have them do computers there. I would have them do like all the little fun activities, and I think I haven't explored yet, but I'm pretty sure that like in our library they have a lot of other computers where I'm sure you can use the internet, and they probably have programs and things like that for writing, typing. So I would do that. If I wanted to spend 0 on computer class, then I would do that. Other things that I'm currently exploring are, for example, art classes, craft classes that, like for example, a crafting store in our neighborhood might have, Michael's, Joann's. I'm looking into that. Maybe they're free, maybe they cost a little bit. Home Depot, I've heard they offer some, what would that be called? Like, I don't know, whatever it's called, with the tools. So yeah, I would look for opportunities like that. What else was there? I also want to talk about a few other things, but I'm going to go ahead and do the things I need to do and have my lunch now. So I'll talk to you in a bit. You know what? I'm not going to have lunch. I'm going to talk to you first, and then I'm going to have lunch. Okay, so here are a few other things that I wanted to talk to you about. The other day was Dr. Martin Luther King's day, where we celebrate him on the 16th. His birthday is actually on the 15th, so we're like, why did that happen? But look, I had been saving this book a long time ago. I saw it like as I was about to pay for some other stuff. You know how they put like a bunch of things there in line, and I got it from TJ Maxx for $6.99, as opposed to $11. You know, if I would have gone online looking for this, I probably would have paid more. But we went over this book. I recommend it. My battery's about to die, so I'm gonna hurry up. I recommend it. It was great. My husband was around when I was reading this book to them, like in the evenings, and my husband chimed in. Like, my kids asked questions throughout. I just asked them to wait until I'm done with the sentence before they ask their questions. But it went over like his life, his marriage, the things he was a part of, and the sad ending. But and it also gives a lot of sections about I guess maps, timelines, and what else? Oh yeah, it gives myth and fact sections. But this is the one I really like. The jump in the think tank, and then it asks you how you would feel if, you know, if you were in that situation and things like that. It was not as politically charged as a lot of people are these days. It was just information, and I really enjoyed adding to our conversation about like how people's sin contributes to racism, and how God uses laws to change things, and to help people out. So I wanted to tell you about that book. We'll be doing more reading about Black history on February. I have a couple of books I want to show you come February. So let's see. I talked about affordable library. I took some notes of things I wanted to talk about. So fun activity connected to a tedious one. Yeah, so you know, the nutrition, it's not the funnest thing necessarily to have to write things down, especially when it's a lot of work. So what I ended up noticing is that I let them draw on the whiteboard. They continue coloring or adding to my picture, and so now all of a sudden it's gonna be a positive reinforcement, because now I almost don't want to say it. When we think, oh, let's do nutrition, now they'll be like, we get to color on the whiteboard. Yeah, let's do it. So anyway, I just thought that's kind of a good thing. So whenever something's tedious, try to find a way to add some type of positive reinforcement that they actually will enjoy, that they don't usually get to do. Yeah, another thing we noticed today during math, sometimes you just don't get it the way it's on the page or how it's explained. So what Jeremiah and me have liked to do is to get what's that game called? The battleship game. And so we'll use the little battleship things to visually see and count and add and all of that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So today we reached the conclusion, and I agreed, that the math worksheets are not fun, they're boring. Yeah, I agree with him. And we just did it anyway. So yeah, that was the tip. I'm like, just be okay with agreeing with them when something is boring, and just do it. I was gonna say, make space for subjects that are not necessarily valued in today's culture, or you know, that are in typical schools. So for example, music, singing, art, PE, but in a way that's fun and age appropriate. I remember in high school they just make us run laps, and like there's other ways to like get cardio done, but yeah, I there's a lot of ways for my kids to get their PE done and to have a healthy lifestyle. So yeah, definitely making time for art. The other day I enjoyed going over to my sister's house and setting up a little art area and just letting them express whatever they wanted on the canvas, and it was so much fun. Another thing, yeah, I've already kind of talked about this, like use books. So find a healthy balance with papers, worksheets, things that you just have to do. Like you just have to like write on a piece of paper. You just have to solve the problems on the math worksheet. These are things that, yeah, we can find other fun ways to like learn to write and use other things, but you also just have to learn to be able to do it in those less exciting ways, right? So but also like find books. Like I love reading books. That's my happy place. So it's just, it comes alive more when you read a book, I feel. And you can pause and you can make the connections on your own, and not necessarily like the worksheet is doing all the work for you, and you're just kind of like, okay, let's get through it. So then I already talked about this. Admit, agree when assignments are boring. That's okay. Always look for reasons learning is relevant and important. Like whenever like you realize, oh, like my child thinks this is boring, but like I can help them to understand whenever like life brings up an opportunity. Oh, this is why we need to learn math. This is why we need to. My other child is coming.
Hello? Hello?
Are you talking to us?
There's a back door, and I think he had something about that lawnmower that you were talking about earlier.
Lovey boy?
No? Remember that lawnmower you asked? Remember the lawnmower? There's someone at the door.
Oh, is your dad there?
No.
Copy it. Okay, apparently we paid the wrong people for doing our grass, and they were honest enough to come and return the money, cash. So I had to go get it. But I was gonna end this video by saying look for opportunities that are a good fit for learning with other children. For example, that art class. That art class, but that art activity that we recently did, it's really good for them to learn to, do an activity as in a group. Also, I'm starting to be open to the idea of having the kids tutor, like the younger ones. We had a little gathering, a birthday gathering recently also with a little girl. She was so proud she could do the number 1, and I'm like, can you do the number 2? And she's like, no, I can't. And I'm like, Jeremiah, teach her how to write the number 2. And so he did it super fast. And I'm like, oh, try it again slowly. And so he did. And then she's like, look, I did it. And it was so cute because it was like 2 little separate. You could see like where she did one step and then the other step. And she was so proud of herself. So I was thinking, that's a good way for kids to work on their teaching skills as well. And it's a good review for them along the way, and I just think it's great for us to help each other out. So anyway, those are the tips that I have for this video. I know this video is like all over the place, but I just really wanted to say all of that with you guys. It's kind of like a day in the life video mixed with a little bit of Black history and a little bit of what else? Pets. So anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like so that more parents can see this channel on YouTube.